Here we are again, folks. True journalism, none other than the Brigitte Gabrielle, with news you can act on in real time. And Brigitte, I can't wait to hear what you have to say about Taiwan.
Thank you, Brent. And as you said, our topic today is Taiwan. Taiwan is on the brink, and we are just about out of ammo. The Biden administration diddles aimlessly in Ukraine and dangerously diminishes our weapons and ammunition stockpiles, trying to sell the big lie that Russia is our biggest threat. Meanwhile, the biggest threat to the planet Earth, Communist China, is preparing to impose an air and sea blockade on Taiwan, which will surely result in the island's surrender. Joe Biden has been giving away the store to Ukraine based on some bizarre determination that the number one threat to American national security is Putin's Russia. Since January 2021, the United States has given more than $42 billion in security assistance to Ukraine. Among other things, we have provided over 2,000 Stinger anti-aircraft systems, over 10,000 Javelin anti-armor systems, over 70,000 other anti-armor systems and munitions, 198 155mm howitzers, and over 2 million 155mm artillery rounds, over 7,000 precision-guided 155mm artillery rounds, over 14,000 155 rounds of remote anti-armor mine system, 100,000 rounds of 125mm tank ammunition, 10,203 artillery rounds, over 50,000 152mm artillery rounds, approximately 40,000 130mm artillery rounds, 40,000 122mm artillery rounds, and 60,000 122mm Grad rockets. Now, there is much, much more to this list, but I wanted to give you an idea, the tip of the iceberg, as to what we have given them. These things, folks, are not rolling off production lines somewhere and heading for Ukraine. Biden is pulling these things out of our own war stocks. Pre-positioned stockpiles of weapons around the world, which are intended to be used by our own troops in the event of war, are being stripped. The cupboard is increasingly bare. Our defense industrial base is incapable of replenishing these items quickly. In many cases, it will take years before we can replace what we have given to Zelensky. Meanwhile, many thousands of miles away from Ukraine, the real show is about to begin. The Chinese are ramping up pressure on Taiwan and preparing to impose an air and sea blockade of that island. Taiwan is completely dependent on imports of food and energy to survive. Once a blockade is imposed, the island will have at most months before it has to surrender and accept Chinese domination. The intensity and scale of Chinese deployments have increased significantly. On one day last week, almost 70 Chinese aircraft entered the Taiwanese air defense zone. Last Friday, there were 16 Chinese naval vessels ringed around Taiwan. In effect, the Chinese are already in a posture that would allow them to blockade Taiwan. All they have to do is formally announce they are doing so and begin to warn aircraft and ships away from the island. Once that happens, all eyes will be on us, on Washington, D.C. Taiwan is incapable of breaking a blockade. No other nation on the planet is going to try to escort ships and planes through such a blockade without American assistance. If we do not take the lead, Taiwan starves, the Chinese Communist Party forces surrender, and the balance of power on the planet shifts. The balance of power on the planet will shift. 6 months ago, Admiral Daryl Cottle, commander of U.S. Fleet Forces Command, stated that ultimately we were going to find ourselves in the position of having to decide whether to arm ourselves or to arm Ukraine. Those 6 months have come and gone. The situation is catastrophic. Either out of sheer incompetence or deliberate malfeasance, the Biden administration has stumbled forward to the brink of war with China while stripping our military of arms and munitions. Taiwan is on the brink, and we are out of ammunition. Stay with us to learn what we can do after the commercial break.
The story of America is one of people who have made their dreams come true by realizing that the time for action is always now.
America, as we know it, is being transformed before our very eyes. Western civilization and the values it was founded upon are under attack from enemies both abroad and from within. Unvetted immigration is rampant. The flag is considered a hate symbol on college campuses. Traditional family values are attacked, and Antifa terrorists and more are gaining a foothold in communities across America. Is our nation at the crossroads of irreversible consequences, or is there still time to rise? Rise and defend the heart and soul of this nation. Rise and fight for freedom of speech and democracy, and for the Judeo-Christian values and freedoms this great nation was founded upon. From Brigitte Gabriel, leading terrorism expert and New York Times best-selling author of Because They Hate and They Must Be Stopped, comes Rise, in defense of Judeo-Christian values and freedom. In her most explosive book to date, she takes you from Europe to the Middle East, from Washington, D.C. to Israel, revealing explosive information that every American needs to hear. Sean Hannity writes, if you're a concerned American who wants to know the truth, you need to read this book. Judge Janine Pirro says, Rise is a must-read for every American. Dinesh D'Souza, Rise is a searing truth-telling expose. And finally, Michelle Nelkin, heed her warnings, follow her lead. Understand why this matters for your family and your personal freedom, and learn what you can do to fight the forces that aim to undermine our great nation. A nation which defeated the mighty British to gain the independence that helped defeat Hitler, that beat the menacing Soviet Union, put a man on the moon, and changed the world forever. Don't sit back and watch the greatest country the world has ever known slowly fade away. Become an instrument of change with Rise, in defense of the Judeo-Christian values and freedom. You never really own freedom. You only preserve it for the next generation. Get your copy and Rise. Available where fine books are sold.
Welcome back, folks. We're talking about Taiwan and the alarming amount of equipment given from our existing military bases. My gosh, Brigitte, as if giving all of the latest gear to the Taliban wasn't enough. That, you know, some would say that this stage for weakening America's military has been set for a very long time. You know, according to Breitbart's Facebook page in 2013, there was an alarming report of 197 officers being relieved of duty because they were conservative, and over 9 senior generals being relieved of duty for the same reasons of not agreeing with the leftist agenda during the Obama years. And here we are yet again, a continuation of weakening America's military.
Exactly. And not only weakening America's militarily with the transgender, with the ideology, with the equity, inclusion, and diversity, and all that nonsense they're trying to brainwash our military with and enforce these rules, the equity, diversity, and inclusion on our military. But now, not only we have weak personnel in the military that we are recruiting, and even though we are not even meeting our recruiting goals, yet now we are out of weapons. So even if we have a capable and strong military, we do not have the bombs, the wherewithal for them to fight with. Can you imagine if we head into war with China right now? I mean, we are sending all these equipment to Ukraine. We are sending all these bombs to Ukraine. We are depleting our stockpiles, and we are focusing all this stuff on Ukraine instead of protecting ourselves, instead of spending the money. If you're going to spend any money, secure the southern border. I care more about a secure America and securing our southern border than I care about protecting the border of Ukraine. I care more about protecting Americans if we get into war with China than protecting Ukrainian. Look, everybody else in the world is wonderful, but we come first. America comes first. Americans come first. And right now, but the Biden administration is weakening us on every single level. Every single level. The job of the government, Brant, the number one job of the government is ensure that we are safe and protected from all threats, foreign or domestic, and to make sure we have a good economy. That's it. That's their job. We can build an economy, we can prosper, we can build businesses, we can do all that. The job of the government is protecting the citizenry and the country. And right now, they are failing to do that.
You know, Brigitte, who is watching out for the American people? Act for America is. Act for America is not compromised, folks. If you go to actforamerica.org, you can sign up for the free action alerts and take action, tangible action. Now be sure and fill in all your information, but you can sign up in about 25 seconds for the free action alerts and all the passion that you may feel from this subject, especially today. You know, betraying our allies, weakening our military, this deliberate attack against the family. And of course, you know, through every channel from the mainstream media to the military, to even a recent show that we did, Brigitte, incentivizing transgenders to join the military for free sex changes at your expense,
Right.
folks. But, you know, Brigitte, you were revealed in recent shows that the last 10 simulated war games against China, we lost. Surely they know this in Washington, D.C.
That's right. That's what the American public doesn't know, is that we have lost in the last 10 practices with China. America lost. And what I mean, and this is just practice. Can you imagine if we get into a real war? And this is why in my book, Rise, I go into detail. That's why I titled the book Rise, in Defense of Judeo-Christian Values and Freedom. We are losing our freedom. We are losing our values. And right now, the last straw is weakening our military and running out of weapons to defend ourselves. We need everyone engaged. We need everyone involved. Go to actforamerica.org. And like you said, Brett, Act for America is watching out for America. Act for America does not receive funding from any government entity. We does not receive any funding from any federal grants. We receive funding from patriotic people like you and me who are standing together to defend our country, because we do not want to be muzzled. We do not want to be beholden to anybody other than the American people who believe in great America, who believe in exceptional America, who believe in strong America, who believe America should be first before anybody else. And I urge you, if this message resonates with you, go right now to actforamerica.org and join us. Become a member. Sign up to become a member. Start a chapter in your community. We have chapters nationwide popping everywhere. If you are interested in starting a chapter, just go to actforamerica.org, click on Get Involved, and start a chapter. We are mobilizing communities, one community at a time. That's how we're going to take back our country. We're talking about people in their community activated on the ground. Look, are you a member of a Bible study? Are you a member of a book club? Are you a member of a PTA? Are you a member of a homeowners association? Are you a member of the Rotary Club? What Bible study, whatever. If you have a group of people that are close to you that you meet and network, and you know they share your values, start an Act for America chapter within your group, and we will help you. We will mentor you. We will share our resources with you so you can take back our community, so we can hold our elected officials' feet to the fire. We make it so easy for you. We share with you tips and tactics as to what you can do as an individual to be empowered to make a difference for the country. Go to actforamerica.org and let's make sure America will be protected. We need to stop chipping away at this deterioration that the left has been chipping at America. We need to build it back. We need to get them out of our hair. We need to get them out of important positions that are changing and transforming our country, and not for the better, but for the worst. This is the time to speak up.
If there's ever been a time, the time is now, folks. It's also wonderful, Brigitte, that people can get a copy of your book, Rise, with any donation of any amount A tax-deductible donation, by the way.
Exactly, and what makes the book unique, Rise in Defense of Judeo-Christian Values and Freedom, is at the end of every chapter, no matter what I'm talking about, there's a section titled Rise Up and Act, where I give people 3 things they can do under 10 minutes that will make a difference for the country. Whether you're reading the chapter Operation Indoctrination, where I talk about what they are doing in our public schools and how they are brainwashing the children, whether I talk about the leftist Islamist coalition, how our enemies, the left and the Islamists and the minority groups, are coming together to transform America and bring America down. Whether I talk about the lamestream media, whether I talk about the internet being the new theater of war and how our enemies are recruiting through the internet, recruiting and brainwashing our children into extremism. All this is detailed in the book Rise. You owe it to yourself to get this book. It's not going to cost you anything. For a donation of any amount, we are happy to mail you the book Rise as our gift to you, as our thank you for a donation of any amount. Help us raise up a new generation of great American heroes who are willing to stand up and speak up and fight for our country and warn for our country, like Paul Revere. We want to raise a nation of millions of Paul Reveres who are educated and armed with the truth and who understand what they can do. Not just read information. You know, all books educate. You can read internet articles and you can be educated, but education without work is dead. Education must be coupled with action. And that's what makes my book Rise so unique. A lot of people listen to the news, they watch TV shows, they listen to the radio, and at the end they say, oh my gosh, my head is about to explode. I'm so educated, I know so much, but I do not know what to do. We share with you what you can do. With the book, you go to actforamerica.org, join us, sign up to start a chapter. We detail that as well in the book. But to get this special TV offer, for a donation of any amount, we will mail you the book Rise. For a donation of any amount, we will mail you the book Rise when you call the 800 number on your screen. This special offer is only a TV offer. You cannot get it by going to our website directly. You have to call the 800 number in order for you to get this offer and get the book in your hand for a donation of any amount. We want to mobilize our people. We want to arm them with the truth, and we want to arm them with what they can do peacefully and democratically to save our republic. And notice I said republic, not a democracy. We are not a democracy. We are a republic. Our founding fathers did not want us to have a democracy. They wanted us to have a republic. They did not want a herd of fools voting on what happens to the United States. This is why we have an electoral system. This is exactly why we have a republic, and we need to preserve and keep our republic. And you can learn how to do that by calling the 800 number on your screen right now. For a donation of any amount, we will mail you the book Rise in Defense of Judeo-Christian Values and Freedom, so you can be educated, you can be mobilized, and you can be used as an instrument of change. God doesn't change the world through lightning in the skies, Brant. God changes the world through his people. We are the instrument. We are his instruments on the ground. So go to actforamerica.org and get involved.
Folks, a lot of voices are out there asking for your support, asking for your donation. But a lot of them, most of them, haven't helped pass over 192 bills that are for you and your family and for America. That's why you need to stand with us. Whether you get the Rise book of a donation of any amount when you call 1-888-999-1928, or you go to actforamerica.org and become a member today. There's a lot of perks for members to be in the know and to learn what you need to do and to educate your friends and your family to make a difference with Act for America today.
That's right. We monitor bills and help you hold your elected officials' feet to the fire. This is why, Brent, you mentioned, we passed 192 bills on the federal level and the state level. And for those of you watching us right now, to give you an idea how we watch what bills are coming down to notify you, the CDC just designated loneliness as an epidemic in the United States. And now the government, there is a bill introduced in Congress for the government to regulate regulate your social life, what you need to do socially to include everybody who is lonely. So right now, the government is telling you what you can do, what you have to do. I mean, it is crazy. What do I have to do? I have to invite 6 strangers to my house for dinner because supposedly they don't have any friends in their life, and now the government is mandating whom I have as friends. If I go to the movies, am I now obliged to buy 5 other movie tickets to some people just because they need to go see a movie and need a friend, and now I'm stuck taking them? Most people have no idea there is a bill like this introduced in Congress, and that the government right now is trying to regulate our social life. But that's what we do at Act for America. We monitor all bills coming down for a vote, and we choose the most important one that we believe that we need to fight right now, yesterday. As you know, Brent, we are drinking from a fire hose. The left, since Biden took office, and the left, took control of Congress, thank God, until we won the House back. It's like drinking from a pressure house. They're trying to pass as many bills as they can and shoving as many crazy ideas, turning them into bill down our throat, thinking, okay, most Americans do not know what's coming down the pipeline, so we can just pass this. Folks, now is the time to stand up and speak up. Now is the time to be informed and mobilized. Now is the time to come together and work together on what matters. There's a difference between being busy and being effective. There's a difference between reading entertaining articles for information and reading articles that have an action plan and an action alert that will actually make an impact on a bill, whether to pass it or to drop it dead. Just like what we did in Michigan. Recently in Michigan, there was a hate bill introduced in the state, designating hate if you don't address anybody by their pronouns, the she, he, it, zen, zin, zoo, whatever the left, they have like 15 different names. We stopped, it passed the House, we got a word about it, we stopped it dead in the Senate. And we wanted to make sure that all elected officials in Michigan understood that this issue is so nuclear that if they get near it, the whole constituency in Michigan is gonna rise up. And that's why it went dead in the Senate. Now, this is the type of stuff we warn you about in your state, no matter where you are watching us right now. Our job is to be the watchman and the watchwoman on the wall, protecting you, watching what's coming down the pipeline. You don't have time to do that. You are busy, you have a job, you have a family. Some of you have 2 jobs to pay and keep a roof over your head. Our job is to watch after you and make sure that you are protected as an American citizen. You do your job and let us do our job protecting America. We will be so grateful for your support of any amount. Stand with us. Become a member with Act for America. Call the 800 number right now for a donation of any amount. We are going to send you my bestseller, Rise in Defense of Judeo-Christian Values and Freedom. For a donation of any amount, you will be able to get a gift that you can give to somebody else, read it and pass it along, and you'll be able to help us with a tax-deductible donation that will help us make a difference for the country. Are you tired of going to meetings, hearing great speakers, going to conferences, getting all excited, and a week later still asking, what can I do? I'm educated beyond my ears, but I have no idea what to do. If that's you, join us. Go to actforamerica.org and become a member. We named the organization Act for America. Not think about America, hope for America, pray for America, but act for America. Because you can think and hope and pray, and you should, but without action, nothing happens. We are organizing the nation one community at a time. We helped pass 192 bills on the federal and the state level through patriots just like you, to preserve our freedom and protect our communities. We are the largest grassroots movement who is getting things done, not just complaining about the problem, but actually fixing it. Go right now to actforamerica.org and join us. Become a member. Talking and hearing speakers is entertainment. Action is how we are going to win back our country. So go to actforamerica.org and become a member today.
When something is really important to someone, they always have the time. They always
That's
have the
right.
energy. They always have the resources. Folks,
Yeah.
what we spend on fast food, we just continue to spend even more money, sometimes twice as much in fast food with inflation. And it's because, that we really want to do that. Well, do you really want to help your country? Folks, some of you are business owners and you give to great causes, but if we don't have freedom in America, a lot of those causes will go away. You need to
Yeah.
stand for America. And you do that when you stand with Act for America today.
Exactly. When we rise together, when we work together as Americans. And the wonderful thing that we are seeing right now, it's like you said, Brand, this is not Democrat versus Republican. This is right now us versus them. Us who love America, who stand up for the national anthem, who put our hand on our heart, who honor our military, who honor the legacy of our founding fathers, who believe in family, in community, and marriage, in children, and what makes the community great, and standing with our law enforcement, and respecting our police, and obeying our police, respecting our police. If a police officer comes to me and he says, stop, guess what? I'm stopping. Please, don't let me interrupt you. I'm sorry, sir, in advance for anything I have done. I'm not arguing with the police. I'm not running away from the police. We are old-fashioned Americans who love America. And right now, it's between us, those who love America, and them who want to transform America, who want to destroy our military, who want to weaken America, who are selling America to foreign agents to line their own pocket. It's between the betrayers of America and the loyal citizens of America. Those who want America to be safe with secure borders and language and values and culture, and those who want to destroy our borders, our culture, our values, our language. This is now between us and them. It's between goodness and evil. Right now is the time to stand up and fight and come together. And the wonderful thing, Brand, what we are experiencing with the Act for America is amazing. We have people joining us, all colors, black, white, Hispanic, dark skin, yellow skin. It doesn't matter. People who put their differences aside, no matter what their gender, no matter what their faith background. We have Muslims, we have Christians, we have Buddhists, we have Sikhs. We have people coming together and saying, I want to stand with you to protect my country. I want to stand with you because I believe in God, family, and country. I want to stand and defend America and everything America stood for. That's why people like me came to America. That's why immigrants like me flocked, crossed oceans to come to the United States of America, because America was exceptional and it offered us the best of what we loved about our cultures, the family, the God, the faith, the community. And we left behind the worst we hated about our culture. We came to America because America was accountable, honest, integrity, ethics. We are seeing the erosion of those ethics and honor right now. And we need to come together and preserve them. Go to actforamerica.org right now. Sign up to get our emails. Sign up to lead a chapter in your community if there's no chapter. And if you make a donation right now through this special TV offer only, if you make a donation with the 800 number by calling the 800 number, we're going to rush you a copy of my bestseller, Rise in Defense of Judeo-Christian Values and Freedom, right now. So go to the phone lines, call that 800 number right now, and get your copy today.
Another fantastic show of News You Can Act On with Brigitte Gabrielle. Thank you again, Brigitte.
Thank you, and God bless you, and God bless the United States.